The insult sliced the air sharper than any shout. It was late morning, sunlight pouring through the classroom windows in gentle golden bands, but for 12-year-old Mason Klein, everything suddenly felt dark. He sat frozen at his desk, hands trembling, as his teacher leaned over him with eyes full of disappointment he didn't understand. And then, with every kid watching, she said the words that would shatter him, "Boys like you never go far. And with a biker father like yours, you'll never amount to anything." Mason felt the room spin, felt heat rise behind his eyes, and for the first time in months, he couldn't hold back the tears. Before the story continues, if you believe in kindness, redemption, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Soul Moment Story. Your support breathes life into stories like this. The classroom fell silent except for Mason's choked sobs. The other students stared, some confused, some uncomfortable, some wishing someone, anyone, would speak up. But no one did. Not even the teacher, Ms. Hartwell, who simply sighed dramatically and turned away as if his pain were nothing more than an annoyance delaying her lesson. Behind Mason, the poster on the wall read Career Day Presentations, and his name was next to the 11:30 a.m. slot. He was supposed to talk about his dreams, his passions, and the person who inspired him most, his father. Now he wished he could vanish. Mason's dad, Rhett Klein, wasn't like other dads. He didn't wear suits. He didn't work in glass buildings. He didn't speak softly. Rhett was a member of a biker club, tattoos, leather vest, roaring motorcycle, the whole look that made strangers judge him at a glance. But at home, Rhett was gentle, patient. The kind of father who stayed up to check homework, who cooked breakfast every Sunday, who told Mason that real strength was in being honest and kind even when the world wasn't, but none of it mattered to the world outside. Especially not to Ms. Hartwell. When the classroom door burst open, it wasn't loud, just a sudden shift of sound and presence. Every head turned. The hallway behind the door brightened with daylight, and from that light stepped Rhett, followed by 9 other men, all wearing matching leather vests, patches, and weathered expressions. They were big, bearded, unmistakably intimidating to anyone who didn't know them. And yet, not one of them looked angry. Their expressions carried a strange gentleness, a protective steadiness, as if they'd walked into a church rather than a school. The students gasped. Even Ms. Hartwell froze mid-step. Rhett walked forward slowly, hands relaxed at his sides, eyes never leaving his son. Mason looked up from behind tear-stained fingers, shock melting into relief. His father didn't ask what happened. He didn't need to. He knelt beside Mason's desk and placed a large, warm hand on his shoulder. The simple touch said everything. "I'm here, son. You're safe." Behind them, the other bikers stood like silent guardians, rough, scarred, but respectful and calm. One of them carried a small poster board decorated with photos of community events, charity rides, toy drives, and food donations, the true heart of their biker club, the part the public rarely saw. Rhett finally looked up at Ms. Hartwell. Not with anger. Not with threats. Just quiet strength. He spoke softly, but his voice filled the room. "My son was supposed to talk today about people who inspire him. I figured I'd stop by to support him." Rhett paused. "But I heard something from the hallway that didn't sound much like support." The teacher's cheeks drained of color. She fumbled for an explanation but came up empty. Rhett continued, still calm. "I may not wear a tie. I may not work an office job. But I work hard. I provide for my son. I volunteer. I show up. Every single day." His eyes softened as he turned back to Mason. "And this kid, he's worth showing up for." The room was silent. Even the clock seemed to hold its breath. One of the other bikers, an older man with silver hair braided down his back, stepped forward and gently placed the poster board in front of the class. It showed the truth about who they were, men who delivered gifts to underprivileged kids on Christmas, who built ramps for disabled veterans, who raised money for hospitals, who cooked for homeless shelters, who stood up for bullied teenagers even when the world labeled them as troublemakers. Rhett nodded as if to say, "Show them what we really are," and the men stepped back. The children leaned forward, eyes wide. Some whispered to each other. Many looked at Mason differently now, not with judgment, but with new understanding. Rhett stood and took a slow breath. A person's worth isn't written on their clothes or decided by someone else. It's shown in their actions. And if anyone tells my boy he can't be something, that just means they don't know him. Mason wiped his face, breathing steadier than moments ago. In that instant, he didn't feel small anymore. He felt proud. Ms. Hartwell swallowed hard. Her voice trembled when she finally spoke. "I may have misjudged." She looked genuinely shaken, as though she'd seen something she'd never allowed herself to believe. "Mason, you may take the floor for your presentation." But Rhett shook his head gently. "Only if he wants to." Mason stood slowly, looking between his dad and the class. The fear that had crippled him moments earlier now felt faint, washed away by the unwavering support surrounding him. He stepped to the front. His voice wasn't loud, but it didn't waver. "My dad inspires me because he's strong in ways people don't see. He teaches me to help others. He shows me that no matter what people think of you, you can still be good." Behind him, 10 bikers stood like a wall of encouragement, and someday, Mason added with a small smile, "I want to be just like him." As he returned to his desk, several kids clapped softly at first, then louder, until the room filled with applause, genuine, warm, and healing. Rhett ruffled Mason's hair, pride shining in his eyes. "That's my boy." Near the end of this video, if Mason's courage and the truth about real strength touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Soul Moment Story. Your support spreads kindness farther than you know. Before we end, special request, comment, respect and kindness always win, to let Mason's message echo beyond this story.